Never giving up is something that I've tried to live by most of my life. And if any of you have seen Galaxy Quest, then you know the motto, never give up, never surrender. That's something that really stuck with me starting my senior year in high school. I moved my senior year, and that meant I could no longer play volleyball because the private school I was now attending did not have a team. So, being a mopey teenager, I decided I wasn't going to do anything that school year. I wasn't going to do sports. I was just going to do school. I was going to mope around and pretty much be miserable. But the first day of school, I was walking around getting a tour, and I ran into the history teacher and the soccer coach. And they stopped me and were like, "Hey, you look athletic. Why don't you come to soccer tomorrow morning?" Me being me, I said, "I've never kicked a soccer ball and I hate running." And they said, "Well, we don't really care, just come to practice." And I said, "No, thank you." And the history teacher said, "I'm going to fail you in your history class if you don't go to soccer practice tomorrow." I think he was joking, but I'm not entirely positive because he's a big soccer fan. So I decided the next morning, I decided to go to practice, thinking I was going to hate it, and I was just doing it to, see how it was. And I got there, and the first thing we had to do was run a mile to warm up. Me being from Indiana, where the elevation is much lower, and conditioning all summer long in volleyball, where it's a completely different set of muscles, I felt very insecure about myself. And it was a bunch of new people, so I ran the mile, and of course, I was the last one, and I decided I was going to go home and I was going to quit. But then the coach came up to me and said, "Hey, you did a lot better than I thought you would." So I decided to stick practice out. So I stuck practice out, and then I went home and I said, "I hate it. I'm never going back." But the next morning, I found myself driving to soccer practice again, which don't know why, but I did. And I ended up doing that all season long, where I kept telling myself I was going to quit, and then I talked myself out of it, and I'd go to practice. I ended up making some of the best friends I ever had that season. I became a starter, and I ended up finishing the season out having it be the best school year of my life. And I all contribute that to not quitting and not giving up. And if we can do that with school and anything else in our life, I think we can be a much more productive human being.